Hi everyone, this is Professor Ward, and today I wanted to walk you through the components of a persuasive essay and talk a little bit about the things that we would be looking for when we do our peer review. Now please just ignore all of this right here. This is just letting us know this is a sample persuasive essay. If this essay was presented to me to be graded, these are the things that I would be looking for. First and foremost, I would want to check to see if the paper is in correct MLA format. So I look to see if it is in Times New Roman, if it is 12-point font, and if it is double-spaced. I look, and yes, it is. Now I'm going to look to see if the heading is correct. First and last name of the author, teacher's name, name of the course, and the date. I notice right away that this date is incorrect. The author has not formatted it correctly. Instead, it should be the day first, then the month, then the year. So it should read 6 February 2006. I then check to see if the header is correct. Here is the header. The author's last name is followed by the page number. Now I looked at the title. The title is centered. It is in the same font and size as the rest of the paper. It has not been bolded, underlined, or increased in size. And each letter should be capitalized is. I also noticed that each new body paragraph is indented as it should be. And I also can see that this paper is not centered. So the only thing that should be centered is your title, not the rest of the text. Now in the introduction, there are three main things that we're looking for. One, has the author used an effective hook as their first sentence? This means have they engaged the reader effectively? Secondly, they need to have background information about their topic. So whatever topic you select, you should have a little bit of history or background about that topic. And thirdly, I want to make sure that they have a thesis statement as the last sentence of their introduction and that it is in the correct format. The correct format of a thesis statement for the persuasive essay is a topic plus your stance or position plus the word because and your 3 points. Let's look at the introduction to see how this author has done. Their hook is every day millions of teenagers spend between 6 and 8 hours in America's high schools. Now unfortunately that is not that interesting of a hook. Basically all this person is doing is stating a fact. And it's stating a fact that we all know, so it's not that exciting or engaging. It doesn't make us want to keep reading because it's something we don't already know. So this author could definitely improve by adding a more interesting hook. When I look at their background information here, it's not all that exciting or engaging, and it doesn't really provide us with that much background information. Like for instance, when did the whole idea of public schools wearing uniforms begin? I know that when I was going to public school in elementary, middle, and high school, that was never a thing. We just wore what clothes we were going to wear. Sure, there were some restrictions, we couldn't wear certain length shorts and different types of shirts, but we didn't have to wear a uniform. That is a much more recent thing that has happened. When I think about my nieces and nephews, they have to wear school uniforms and they go to public school. So it's kind of more of a modern, maybe within the last 20 years or so, phenomenon. So this author could improve upon that. Now when I look at their thesis statement, here it is. In America's high schools, students should not be forced to wear uniforms because they take away a student's sense of individuality, they do not allow for self-expression, and they absolutely do not save families any money. So this thesis statement is correct. I know what the topic is, in this case, wearing school uniforms. I know what the author's stance or position is. They do not believe that you should be forced to wear them. And they have 3 specific reasons why they believe this. Now, as a teacher, I would have a little bit of a question about point 1 and point 2 because they are very similar. I don't know that they're different enough for the person to provide a really good amount of information that would make those different. So they might want to think about revising that and adding a more distinct second point. Now that I'm looking at the body paragraphs, I'm looking for some key things. First, your first sentence should start with a transition and then a topic sentence. The topic sentence should match your thesis statement. So first of all is their transition, and they said in their thesis statement that they would talk about that school uniforms take away a student's sense of individuality, so that should be mentioned in this topic sentence here. And we can see right here they say it takes away a student's sense of individuality. The rest of the paragraph should be based in research and fact. So when I look through here, I see that she is using a student's account of being made to wear school uniforms in this school, and it seems like since it's the Catholic Reporter, perhaps it's a Catholic school. We don't know. The issue that I have with this is that this is one person's account. So it's not a very compelling argument at this point. We need a lot more information that would lead us to understand that it takes away a person's individuality, not just what one person thought about it. When I look at the second body paragraph, they do start with a transition followed by a topic sentence. Now, in their introduction, they said, or in their thesis statement, they said that their second point would be that it does not allow students to express themselves. So we see that that is represented in their topic sentence. The rest of the paragraph should be a compelling argument for that they do not allow self-expression. Now, in this case, she is only using a hypothetical situation. This is not based in research or grounded in fact. This is a what-if situation. Unfortunately, that's not a very compelling argument. So while you might use that as an example, it would be good to have something a little bit more concrete. And finally, in the third body paragraph, we have our transition followed by our topic sentence. The author did say in her thesis statement that she planned to use the idea of saving money or not saving money as her third point. So that is represented in her topic sentence. Now, her argument in this particular paragraph is that children or students who are made to wear school uniforms also have regular clothes because they're not going to wear their school uniforms everywhere they go. And so therefore, parents have to buy another separate bunch of clothes for that to happen. So her argument is pretty good here. It's a little bit weak in the fact that she has not presented enough facts to support that. So it might be good to know, like, what is the average cost that a family whose children have to wear uniforms spend on all of their clothing versus families whose children are not forced to wear uniforms, and is there a significant financial difference? So in the conclusion, I want to check for the three main things. One, has the author summarized or restated the thesis statement? Secondly, have they restated their 3 points? And finally, have they left the reader with something to think about? So here they have started with the transition of in conclusion, and they say in our public schools, students should not be forced to wear uniforms. So they have restated their thesis statement. Then we have the 3 points that they wanted to make restated. And now they're going to leave us with a final thought. Uniforms may seem like a good idea at first, but in the end they would do more harm than good. So this is to let us as the reader think about this and decide for ourselves if we believe that students should or should not be forced to wear school uniforms. Now I notice right away that there's an issue. This work cited should absolutely not be here. A work cited is on a completely separate page. So the author has completed her essay, so she should now move down to a completely new page and start her work cited. So as it is, that would be incorrect. So I hope that this kind of helps you see the different parts of a persuasive essay and kind of what we're looking for on our peer review so that we can help our classmates improve upon their writing and help ourselves improve upon our writing. Of course, if you have any questions at all, please just ask.